some of these things will improve your artwork almost immediately. I've learned a lot of things over the years, like a lot of things that I wish I'd known when I first started to draw. I don't want other people to make these mistakes because it really can stump your art growth. Be better than I was. Using references not only help you to understand things like anatomy, depth, color theory, even just starting to use references now, whether you've been drawing for a week, a month, a year, whatever, if you start using references now, I can guarantee you will see a massive improvement in your artwork. Because I've only recently started using references after years of being really stubborn, and I've noticed that my anatomy is getting much better, much quicker. And it made me realize that if I had just stopped being stubborn at the beginning of my art journey, I probably wouldn't be having all these problems now. They're like the best tool you have. Like things like Pinterest. Pinterest is the best place in the world. But not just Pinterest, using books, using your own pictures, which I know might seem a bit cringy, but sometimes it's just best if you want a specific pose or a specific shot of something, taking your own pictures and using those as references is probably the best. And that way you can say, yes, this is fully my own artwork, whereas if you've copied from something else or someone else's work, which by the way is fine, I'll get into that, but if you copy from someone else's work, you can't say it's your work. Yes, I do think that using other people's artworks and other people's works for references is fine. I think even when you're at the beginning of your journey, tracing is fine. I'm gonna get killed for this. Tracing is okay at the beginning of your journey because one, it creates muscle memory. The bad thing about tracing is if you trace something and then go on to say, yeah, this is my own original artwork, everyone look how great it is, that's where you're crossing the line. References. Please use them. They're the best things that you have. Another small mistake that I made, not taking criticism. I know, I used to not like taking criticism either. Having someone look over your art with a fresh pair of eyes really helps. You sit for hours drawing your own artwork. Your eyes deceive you. Sometimes having someone else look over your artwork to be able to say like, actually, you could maybe add some more depth here or you could do this to make it better is just helpful. It helps you to know what your weaknesses are and it can help you improve a lot faster. Just don't take it to heart. I know it's hard. I've been there myself. It's only very recently that I've started to kind of take criticism, constructive criticism, on the light side. It doesn't mean I'm bad, it just means I'm not perfect, which of course I'm not perfect. Who is? Now, to the bigger mistakes. This mistake has completely ruined my life. Being afraid to make mistakes. Which turned out to be my biggest mistake. How ironic is that, right? Yeah, I know. Hilarious. See, the thing is with being afraid to make mistakes, it leads to a comfort zone. You're in your comfort zone and you're not pushing yourself. You're not trial and testing things. You really should be trying out all these things. I don't mind my art style. It's just not exactly where I want it to be and I'm not sure where I want to take it because I've never practiced with art styles because I've always been too afraid. I've never practiced with backgrounds or animals because I've always been too afraid, and like these are things I would love to be able to do. Even painting, I would love to be able to paint, but because I was too afraid to go out of my comfort zone, I am now stuck in a box and now I'm having to like stab my way out. I don't know why I'm stabbing my way out, but I am. I want to get out of this box that I put myself in. If you can stop yourself from doing that, it will save your artwork in the long run. You will save yourself so much time. Pen sketches. Pen sketches means you can't focus on your mistakes. If you make a mistake, you just have to move on. You can't erase it. And it's really good. Not only will it probably help you to sketch quicker, but it'll help you to understand anatomy better. If you can break the barrier of not caring about making mistakes at the beginning of your art journey, you will do yourself the best service. I didn't do that and I have to do all that things now. I have to start learning to not be afraid to make mistakes after 6 years of drawing. I have to stop being afraid of drawing backgrounds now because I'm terrible at drawing backgrounds and my character art and my backgrounds are like, when I want to draw backgrounds, it doesn't fit in with the actual drawing because the characters look much better. Making mistakes is actually the best thing that you can do for yourself. Every mistake you make will eventually lead to a masterpiece. In the long run, you're gonna learn 10 times more from any mistakes that you make than you do from any good piece of artwork that you create. Mistakes are actually your best friend. This one is something that I think a lot of artists do and don't necessarily realize they're doing it. My biggest number one mistake was letting art stress me out. It doesn't make any sense. Wanting everything to be perfect every time I created a new piece of artwork got in the way of the most important thing about having a hobby and about creating art, which is having fun. It might sound cheesy, it might sound corny, but art is amazing. Art lets us draw whatever we want, and that's something that I always forget, that what I'm drawing doesn't have to be perfect every single time. I have this amazing ability to be able to draw anything I want. Anyone can draw anything they want anytime they want. If you want to draw a dinosaur wearing a top hat tap dancing, you can do that. If you let art stress you out, you really do lose the fun of the journey, and that's something that I really did along the way, was forget that art is just fun. And I've created characters, I've created my own characters, and I've been able to bring them to life by making comics and artwork of them, and it's amazing that I can do that. This is something I still struggle with, but it is something that you can change right now. Just try to remember every time you sit down to draw something that it doesn't have to be perfect, you just have to have fun. And if it doesn't work out so good, that's fine. The best thing about art and making bad artwork is being able to go back years later and redraw it. Redraws are the best thing. Go back and redraw something like you did years ago and you'll see oh my god, I've actually made so much more progress than I thought I had. These mistakes are all something that I think you can change today, right now. You can remind yourself every time you sit down to do an artwork to use references, to maybe go and ask someone for criticism, to remember to have fun with it and to embrace the mistakes. They're not something that you have to wait years to do. To be honest, some of these things will improve your artwork almost immediately. And they're not things you have to go out your way for either. They're very simple things, which is kind of what I wanted to touch on in this video, that you don't have to wait years to start making great art. You can do that now. And yes, you're gonna get frustrated. Yes, you're gonna make artwork that you just look at and you go, what is this? This is terrible. Why did I make this? How did it go so bad? Everyone makes artwork like that, but I think there was a quote that I heard a few years ago when I was first starting art. You have to make 1,000 bad drawings before you can make the good drawings, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Yes, it does take time and it takes effort, but in the long run, you will thank yourself for just letting mistakes be and just for having fun with it and not taking art so seriously. Whether you're starting out and it's just a hobby or you're starting out and wanting to make a career out of it, it doesn't matter. It still should be fun. Even though I regret these mistakes so very much, I know now that I've started to do these things that my artwork is going to improve so much quicker than ever before. So hopefully in a year or 2 years time, we'll all be so much better for it. These things might seem insignificant now, but you will look back and regret it if you don't do them. Take it from someone who's been drawing for quite some time now. You will regret it. Trust me. And if you're having fun, who cares if it doesn't turn out perfect? You will eventually get there. In fact, the artwork that I did for this video, I was actually challenging a few things that I've talked about already. So, for example, I really tried to embrace the mistakes and learn from them. There are quite a few mistakes that I made, but I just decided to let them be and kind of move on and not let that distract from the fact that I was still learning things from the mistakes I was making. I also tried watercoloring, which is a medium that I've wanted to try for years, and I never did because I was always too scared because I just knew it would go wrong. It always seemed really intimidating, and turns out I actually really love watercoloring. It was so much fun. It kind of makes me feel like I've missed out on all these years. But let me know if you struggle with any of these mistakes or if there's anything you think I missed out, because I'm really interested to hear what you guys think as well. I think it's very important to remember that art should be fun. Anyway, I hope this helped and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye!